Here's a question for you. Are you having trouble handling your wife? Want her to stop pushing you around and instead start giving you the respect you deserve? Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the root cause of virtually all your problems with your wife. You're not leading her. And instead, she is leading you. And despite whatever she might have told you, she hates every single second of it. On the other hand, if you were the leader of the marriage, and if you were strong and dominant and loving and decisive, then your wife wouldn't give you so much trouble. After all, she'd be crazy to do anything that would drive a great man like you away. So if you want to learn how to handle your wife, this is the video for you. You're about to learn why your wife has her attitude problems, what never to do when trying to solve the problem, and what you should do instead to make her see you as the strong, dominant leader she so desperately needs you to be. Are you ready for this? Great. Before we jump into the good stuff, though, here's what I want you to do for me. Please take 2 seconds to click the like button below. It means a lot to me, and it's only going to take a second. That will encourage me to produce even more of these videos for you in the future. Once you clicked like, I will show you the 4 signs that you must know if your wife is having problems with her attitude to your marriage. Trust me, because it's really important for you to know these signs early. Click like, and I will share with you those 4 signs. Do it. Click like because I'll wait here. Have you clicked like? Great. Now, on to the good stuff. Let's start with the top 4 signs your wife has an attitude problem. Does your wife have an attitude problem? See if she's showing any of the 4 following signs. Sign number 1 is when she makes all the decisions in your marriage. Sign number 2 is when she's overruling all the decisions you make for your marriage. Sign number 3 is when she's making you feel like you're always wrong. And sign number 4 is when she's never satisfied, no matter how much you follow her directions. These are the top 4 signs your wife has an attitude problem. There are many other signs out there, but the 4 we just mentioned, these are the biggest ones. Why? Because they're all symptoms of the biggest relationship problem of all, role reversal. Here's a controversial statement for you. In the happiest, most successful marriages out there, the husbands and wives play specific roles within the relationship. It's true, there are certain things men are better than women at in the context of marriage, and vice versa. Here's what science has established. Husbands are best suited to be the leaders of the marriage. They're better than their wives at leading the marriage, as well as at handling external affairs. On the other hand, wives are best suited to be the nurturers of the marriage. They're better than their husbands at handling the household's internal affairs. Now you might be asking, why are men and women better suited for certain jobs than others? Answer: it's all in the way our minds are wired. Men's brains are wired to address problems in a logical, tactical manner. Meanwhile, women's brains are wired to address problems in an emotional manner. And when women are thrust into leadership positions, such as when their husbands are weak and indecisive, it's a recipe for disaster. Have you ever tried using your emotions to solve a problem? Didn't work out too well, did it? In fact, you probably made things worse. Well, guess what? That's what happens when you let your wife take the helm in your marriage. The role reversal makes your wife feel dissatisfied, and her dissatisfaction will lead to attitude problems. Ignore her attitude problems long enough, and things will get worse and worse until the marriage fails. Yup, it's that serious. Make no mistake, you'll need to change things fast. You'll need to reclaim your rightful leadership in the marriage and steer this ship back onto the right course. How exactly do you do that? Well, you're about to find out. Before we continue, I'd like you to do something for me. If you've learned something new in this video so far, then please do me a favor by clicking on the subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it. It'll motivate me to come up with more videos like this to help you lead a stronger, happier relationship. Go ahead, take a moment to click subscribe now. I'll wait. Have you clicked subscribe? Great. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Now let's jump into the good stuff. So here's how to handle your wife like a real man. First, let's talk about what not to do. The worst thing you could ever do to try to handle your wife would be to follow pickup artist or PUA advice. So if you've ever tried pickup artist advice on your wife, or plan to, then you're just making things worse in your marriage. Why? Because pickup artist advice isn't meant to help men build better marriages. In fact, pickup artist advice isn't even meant to help you have a better dating life. Instead, pickup artists are all about one thing: orgasms. 99% of all crap pickup artist advice you see on the internet are about one thing only, and that's to help you have sex with as many different women as possible. Ever notice that? Now, what would happen if you tried to apply orgasm-oriented advice to a problem about marriage leadership? A freaking disaster, that's what. So what's a guy to do instead? I suggest you use something that actually works on marriages. Something infinitely more powerful than PUA advice. What is it? It's called fractionation. What is fractionation? Fractionation is a mind control technique. It was developed and popularized by Rake. Derek is a mentalist, coach, and founder of the Shogun method system of dating and seduction. Now, about fractionation. Fractionation is the art of putting your wife on emotional roller coasters. These are intensifying cycles of emotional highs and lows, all instigated by you. Here are 3 examples of fractionation in action. Number 1. When you focus on your mission in life and not on her. The more you kiss up to your wife, the more powerful she feels. Taking time to focus on your own mission in life instead of focusing on her will take some of her power away and shift it over to you. Number 2. When you let her get mad once in a while. Too many husbands are petrified of making their wives mad. Don't be like those husbands. Make a decision, put your foot down, and let her go crazy if she needs to. She'll come around once she realizes she can't beat you anymore. And number 3, when you disappear for a few days. Intentionally disappear from her life for at least one day. Have absolutely no contact whatsoever. Let her go crazy, get angry, and feel worried, and then come back unannounced. When she asks you what happened, just tell her, "I needed some alone time." Don't elaborate. She'll go crazy assuming what happened. Pretty emotional, huh? But that's exactly what fractionation is supposed to be. Fractionation works because it makes your wife feel like she's losing control. It snaps her out of her controlling attitude, and it makes her start looking to you for direction. The more you use fractionation, the more her bad attitude crumbles. And the more you act like the strong, dominant leader she needs you to be, the more she'll feel addicted to you. Now let me ask you something. Does fractionation sound very different from PUA advice to you? You bet. Is it controversial? Yes, it is. But does it work? Absolutely. And isn't that most important? Fractionation does something that conventional advice will never give you. The results you want. And if it's a strong, happy relationship with a loving, supportive wife is what you want, then that's what you'll get with fractionation. Sounds good? There's just one catch though, and here it is. Don't tell anyone about it. Rake, the man who popularized fractionation, issues a warning to anyone who wants to try it. He says, "Do not use fractionation if your intent is to hurt or take unfair advantage of your wife. If your goal is to get revenge on your wife or to teach her a lesson, then it's probably best if you didn't use fractionation." Why? Because it's extremely dangerous. Fractionation, in the wrong hands, can emotionally scar a woman for life. You'll break her permanently if you're not careful. So it's best to stay on the safe side and not use fractionation in that case. But on the other hand, if your goal is to steer your marriage in the right direction, if your goal is to reclaim the leadership your wife desperately needs you to have, and if your goal is to make the happiest woman in the world, then fractionation is definitely what you need. Trust me on this. Unfortunately, I can't explain everything about fractionation in just one video. There's just not enough time. That's why I have something even better for you. Rake holds an exclusive online masterclass on mind control. In it, he teaches the basics of mind control, including fractionation, and how to use it to take total control over your relationship like you were meant to. In just a moment, a link will come up in this video. Click that link, and it will bring you to the registration page for the online masterclass. Please use your best email address when signing up. That's where Derek's team will send your invite ticket as soon as you qualify for the masterclass. Got it? Good. Now, remember, if you want to handle your wife, if you want to make her respect you, and if you want to make her happy, then you must master fractionation. That's the key. Believe me, because I know. Don't wait until your wife gives up on you. Watch Rake's online masterclass on mind control now. Look out for the link that's inside the video right now. Click the link.